So cold. I opened my eyes in a daze, and outside the window, the sunlight splattered across the floor, but even that wasn't enough to remove the gloominess in the room. I tried to stretch my body. The sunlight failed to dissipate the cold, and the freezing air made me shudder. Day 3. I was getting used to the room's moldy smell, but the night was still too cold to sleep properly. My stomach burned from starvation, only to feel worse physically, but mentally as well. They let me prove my identity through the call. She took the phone outside to prevent me from listening to their conversation. About 10 minutes later, she returned and lit a cigarette. Smoke permeated in the air. There's no way for me to know what they had discussed. All my questions got no response. Father's voice through the phone sounded plain as always. He was more skeptical than nervous. Even after a few questions, he still didn't believe I was kidnapped. I tried to tell him my status, but the phone got taken away before he could make any sense out of it. Maybe he couldn't even recognize his own son. I laugh ironically, despite my chest being burdened by unease. So what now? Facing the gray ceiling, I try to figure something out. I mustn't give up. Rather than taking the risk to escape, I should try to convince them. After hanging out with them during the past few days, I had learned that they weren't that difficult to communicate with. I just hope it wasn't just an illusion. I looked down the room and found a little girl sitting next to the wall, surrounded by books from God knows where. The big sis was gone. Based on the door sounds I heard, she probably left around early morning. What time is it? I asked her. She poked her head out from behind the book. This question should be fine for her to answer, right?
7.
So early. I never expected time to pass this slowly, especially when I used to be able to sleep until noon, skip breakfast. I was so bored that I even felt bewildered by the situation. They say time connects with emotion. Time under happiness flies, while time under pain lasts forever. There was a sci-fi novel that I read before. I couldn't recall most of the details, but one specific part left quite an impression. It was a nation with a special punishment. They paralyzed criminals' bodies, but kept the consciousness intact, and the criminals were left in a cell. All I could do was think through eternity, without connection with the outside world. With life support, they could still breathe, but only breathe. I finally understood what an intriguing concept would feel like, and to experience it myself. When you couldn't move your limbs, pain and hunger stood out like a sore thumb. All my attempts to break free failed, and knot was still tight as ever. Who knew rope could be this durable? There was counterfeit butter and pudding in the market, yet the rope was still this sturdy. The government really should have awarded this sort of top-notch manufacturing. My train of thought led to another headache. On my sore throat. Could it be that I caught a cold? Should I reserve my energy or try to talk to her? I hesitate a little, but decided to talk to her. Aren't you afraid?
Of what?
The cops coming for you. Facing my question, she stared at me in silence. It took her a while to respond.
Would they?
She asked me quietly. What do you think? Kidnapping someone and plus asking for ransom? If that wouldn't get the police attention, then so be it.
We don't want to do this either. We've tried our best. We've done worse things to Big Sis.
Like what? She turned her head away, didn't answer. The conversation seemed to depress her. It took quite a while before I heard her behind the books.
I'm scared. big sis needs my help, I'll help.
You want to help her? You should let me go. I lost my chance to say this upon seeing her expression, twisting her lips to suppress her fear. Whatever. I shouldn't push too hard on the subject. I convinced myself an excuse, not fully certain why I decided to stop there. After that, she didn't speak, only indulged herself in the book, silently. Anything to eat? I tried to chat with her on different subjects, hoping to figure out some intel. She rustled around, took a half a steam bun, and placed it next to me, quietly. Crackers first, now steam buns? They're all cheap foods with long shelf life, yet lacking appetizing value. That side was dry, even like an air-fried tangerine skin. It's quite hard to chew. I could barely taste anything in my mouth. I swallowed it down with water, starting to miss the American brunch from a few days ago. The craving made me sigh in despair.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, it would be much better if there was a fried egg with pepper. She stared at me, surprised, only opened her mouth a little while later.
You know how to cook?
Sort of. Just simple stuff. I always had some simple ingredients ready since I lived alone. If I was lazy, I just cooked some instant noodles plus a fried egg and called it a meal. Most of the time I just put everything from the fridge into the crock pot. I didn't really care as long as they were cooked and filling. What? Is it strange? Seeing her hesitation there, I asked.
I thought you'd have someone cooking for you and bringing meals to your room every day. Like a butler?
You watch way too many soap operas. I didn't stay in a hotel with a kind of service or anything. Our breakfast is usually just a sandwich, bread or onigiri from a breakfast shop like regular folks.
Oh,
Realizing how mundane my breakfast was, she responded disappointedly. Did she think of me as some playboy millionaire from a movie spent all day long in bars to hook up with chicks?
how about tea parties?
Right before I could explain myself, she threw me another ridiculous question. Tea, parties. I repeated words and confirmed that I didn't hear wrong upon seeing her nod. Okay, so my ears still functioned, and I didn't misunderstand her. She was referring to traditional British afternoon tea. Like those things with 3 layers from bottom to top. You have sandwiches, scones, and cakes. You tasted them in that order too. Taste aside, I just sounded like a giant pain in the ass. Never tried it. I didn't even hear of it that often.
In a magazine, they said rich people invited friends over with lots of food and tea.
Right. I know what tea party means.
So no tea party for you?
Nope. Ignoring her curious look, I replied without hesitation.
Why?
Making tea and buying cake is a ton of work. I had to clear up the mess after inviting people over. Too much trouble. I didn't talk to my family much, so the whole idea of us having a happy afternoon tea time was just unimaginable.
No one prepares it for you?
No one hired someone just to make tea. For this sort of luxury stuff, wouldn't it be more convenient to have it in some cafe? She quietly lowered her head, as though pondering my words. You, by chance, think my house is some fancy mansion with many servants that all need to do is ring a bell? Oh dear. I was just kidding, but based on her reaction, I was right. I live by myself in a 300 square foot condo. I do my own laundry and cleaning, plus chasing the garbage truck to throw away the trash from time to time.
But aren't you rich?
My dad is, not me. Might make no difference for them, but I corrected her nonetheless. Also, being rich and being wasteful are two different things. One should do things by oneself if possible.
Why?
Why? What? The quiet girl started to talk and asked me question after question with much curiosity. Unlike her big sis, there was no hatred or mockery in her eyes, just pure curiosity.
If I had money, I would live in a big house and hire many people to cook and clean.
Is that so? For me, I just needed a place big enough to live. I didn't have that many friends, so what is the point of all these fancy desires? Besides, the bigger the house, the harder to clean. Hiring someone to do it would be an extra expense. There's no point in troubling myself like that. If they did everything for you, then what would you do? She stumbled slightly upon my question. Clearly, it had never crossed her mind before.
Just rest.
Rest forever? If you have everything done for you, you will become nothing but a waste of space. She tried to explain but lowered her head like a wrecking ball.
I don't know.
Suddenly, I see the source of all these deep-rooted enmities, false imagination. For them, I enjoy a comfortable life with no effort, while they get trapped in poverty despite their best efforts. Envy and depression accumulate and eventually turn into anger and hatred. False imagination came from all the rumors and media portrayal, picturing the rich as people crashing into others while drunk or high after having crazy parties. At the end of the day, the media just wanted to provocative news. A fancy car killing someone was always more marketable than a cheap-ass one causing it. Integrity has nothing to do with wealth. There's no lack of rich people leading a rather simple life. You just never see them in the news. They do whatever they can to produce things people want to see. Like media code integrity? That doesn't mean jack shit in an audience-driven era. What about the truth? Neither the journalists nor the audience care. We see what we want to see. Despite knowing this full well, we still choose not to resist it. So what now? Where'd your big sis go?
I don't know.
I tried to start a conversation and still made no progress. Don't you care at all?
Big Sis told me to guard you and that she would be back soon.
The girl calmly lowered her head, as though living in her own world without one bit of anxiety or guilt as a criminal. Aren't you afraid?
Afraid of what?
What did the cops find you, saying, "I don't know, won't cut it"? She pressed her lips and said nothing. There was some hesitation in her expression when you stared at me. With how advanced technology has become, there are surveillance cameras everywhere. It's only a matter of time before they find out. No matter how good your big sis is, she wouldn't be able to protect you by that point. She tried to open her mouth, but paused a little, and swallowed the words. Give it some thought. It seemed like she did care, but just somehow suppressed her anxiety. Compared to her big sis' stubbornness, she might let me go if I pressured her more. So what now? I suddenly realized I hadn't read any books in a while. You really believe in her?
Yes, Big Sis is not a bad person.
She nodded without hesitation, not realizing she was the one locking me up here. If that thing counts a bad person, then this standard was just way too loose.
She wouldn't really harm you. She will let you go when she gets the money.
Oh, really? And the first time I heard it from her, I still didn't know where that confidence came from.
Yes, she promised me.
Do you just believe in anything she says? I asked in disbelief, even though she was still young. Such blind trust was far too ridiculous. Not harming me. Where do you think I got all these injuries? By accidentally hurting myself? She stared at me with pressed lips, but couldn't deny my words. So what now? What did it picture me as? I had no idea how much they misunderstood. I couldn't help but ask. Her answer was surprisingly simple.
A rich person?
Remembering all the past conversations, I sighed helplessly. I think you must have quite a misunderstanding about rich people. Rich people aren't bad people. She looked at me silently, not really believing me. I don't know what news you've seen or what your big sis has told you that makes you think all rich people are bad, but what have I actually done? Do you think everything she said is true? Try to judge for yourself with your own eyes. Try to convince her subtly. If she could understood, then perhaps I could get out of here without much risk.
I don't know.
She refused my glance and didn't want to hear more from me. I sighed lightly. If I couldn't change her mind right now, then I have to wait for another chance. In the end, I made no progress. She didn't know what was going on, nor was she willing to contact her big sis for me. And I felt horrible. The fluctuating body temperature confirmed my theory. That and the muscle soreness indicated a fever. Shit. Getting sick now of all times. Couldn't even stay awake, let alone escape. The girl was still reading a book next to the wall, having no clue about all the ideas floating in my mind. She inspired herself with a knife only a few steps away. My hands were still tied up, but I could still move them a little. I could call over, knock her out, and cut the rope loose. A sense of unease surfaced along all sorts of possibilities in my mind. What if she dodged it? What if the door was blocked? Could there be someone else? I didn't so much of a chance to succeed, nor did I have any idea where to start. I also might end up hurting her accidentally. She didn't seem to know what she was doing, nor had she actually threatened me. I should avoid violence against her unless I have no choice. I made up my mind and started to think of other options.
Big Sis?
Huh? What? Hearing the girl's voice, I came back to my senses and realized she was staring at me. All sorts of ridiculous ideas intertwined in my brain. I shouldn't make any rushed decisions with this messy mind.
Do you hate Big Sis?
Who would like to kidnap her? It's not like I had Stockholm Syndrome. I wanted to reply like that, but I kept it down. It didn't matter what I thought, and I came up with a response that would make her drop her guard based on what she wanted to hear. Saying that I like her might be too much, so I should reply with, I don't know.
I need to restart Discord. I'm so sorry.
Okay. She just looked at me after my response. Silence spread across the air like a wall between us. I don't really know her, so I can't say if I like her or hate her.
I see. Big Sis is not a bad person. Really.
She hugged her knees as though trying to convince herself. Her quiet voice seemed to lack some confidence.
We just wanted to pay off the debt. We don't really want to do this.
The girl's eyes under her bangs were as clear as a lake's surface, void of any deceit. She never suspected her sister of any other motive, or was simply using her. After all this, she still chose to believe in Big Sis, tries to defend her. Why? Seeing her desperation, he felt emptiness.
She worked so hard to make money, but they kept coming to her for more, even though it has nothing to do with her.
She was still mumbling her explanation. It annoyed me like tetanus next to my brain. Though she generally wanted to persuade me, even though her Big Sis might have her reasons, I felt nothing. She might not realize, but I just didn't care. I wanted to escape and return back to my normal life. I didn't care if this Big Sis was a good or bad person, or had a miserable past. Why she committed this crime had nothing to do with me. Seeing her serious expression, I opened my mouth but swallowed my words eventually. I sighed lightly. I couldn't tell if I envied her naiveness or hated my cold heart. So what now? The date stopped at August 30th, 1999. If it is the date the original owner left the place, then it must be at least 15 years old. No wonder it looks this miserable. Rather, it's kind of a miracle for this place to still even be standing after so many years without any sort of maintenance. The yellow ring paper reveals sign of age. Seems to be some popular video game from the past. This is some really plausible. So what now? I should rest when I get the chance. My cloudy consciousness gradually cleared. Looks like I fell asleep without noticing. The sky outside the window was dyed crimson. Freezing wind brushing against my cheek made me tremble. I didn't know how long I had slept, but my body showed no signs of recovering. The rope cut into my flesh like ant bites, while struggling out of a noise when it led to torn skin. What time is it?
5.
The girl's at the same spot, quiet like a delicate porcelain doll.
Why do you keep asking me the time?
Because that's all you would tell me, right? Knowing the time wouldn't change anything. But the sense of cluelessness was just unbearable. Shit, my head hurt. She was not a good conversation partner, but I tried anyway to keep myself awake. You buy me a coffee, I can give you all the money I have. My happy head made me say the most random of things, like a drunk man.
You like coffee?
She raised her head and stared at me with curiosity. That big sis would have shut me up, but she at least chatted with me here and there. Nothing's more pleasant than drinking coffee in this weather, well, except a hot bath.
I don't. Too bitter.
I learned how to enjoy it. Different coffee beans have different tastes. How you prepare is also a factor. Filter drip isn't real coffee at all. Only pour over coffee can bring out the fragrance. There's something wrong with all those latte lovers. The only proper coffee is black coffee. May as well just drink milk. Hearing all my critiques, she made a comment.
You really like to talk.
Do you have a better alternative? Based on my question, she started to contemplate seriously.
Just sleep?
She spoke timidly, so fearing that I would scold her. Great idea, please let me know how to just sleep with my hands tied and my body hungry and cold. Started coughing before I could respond. I didn't even have the strength to joke around. If this kept up, I'd cough myself to death before they killed me. Living like this was worse than death. Recalled this line from a book and found it super fitting. The girl stared at me for a while, then came over carefully with a knife. Don't you worry. Couldn't resist you even if you were empty-handed. Ignoring my mockery, she partly squatted before me, and then felt her slightly cold touch.
You have a fever.
Just let me rest. Not wanting to waste more energy, I sighed tiredly and closed my eyes. I heard a sound of her stepping back, her glance at me with worry. There was the sound of bikes motor outside the window. The girl raised her head sharply and ran out to welcome her big sis. I had no idea where she's been. The girl's hair was still messy. She held plastic bags of a convenience store in her hands.
I hit the wrong mute button. I'm back. Is everything all right?
Big sis.
The little girl really explained the innate status of my body. Big sis frowned upon hearing it.
Okay. I will take care of it. You should eat something now.
And I calmly patting her little sister's head and asking her to take the plastic bags. The girl coldly looked down on me.
So what's wrong with you now?
Who knows? Food poisoning? Maybe? I wanted to show my weakness before I gathered my strength to reply.
If you can still joke around, it probably isn't too bad.
The smell of cigarettes from her made me dizzy. She covered my forehead with the back of her hand and checked my body temperature in a much rougher way than a little girl.
What a fragile body you have here, rich boy. Can't take some wind?
Not wanting to waste more energy, I just quietly watched her examining the rope. She forcefully pulled it, making the rope bite deeper into my flesh. She cared more about me spreading disease than escaping.
I'm not a greenhouse flower like you. This sort of cold is nothing. I still have to work even with a fever. If I take a day off, I might lose my job the next day. You have no idea, right, rich boy?
I had no idea. Nor did I give a fuck. I didn't pick a job for you, so what was the point of complaining about that to me? It's hard to keep your emotions under control when you felt horrible. I thought I'd change the subject to avoid an argument. Did my dad pay?
Why would I keep you here if he did? Do you think I like tying you up?
They did make contact yesterday, so I should have been discussing the details of the ransom. Ignoring her provocation, I forced myself to focus on an intel at hand. Common ways for money transfer are cash in a bag. However, money transfer could be traced and physical cash was difficult to arrange. I heard some kidnappings use Bitcoin or other virtual currency instead, more secure and flexible than cash. Even high school with a bat could kidnap someone. The question was how to get out of this situation.
Save your breath and just rest. I have no desire to call a doctor if you pass out.
Thanks for the heads up. She had a point. I shouldn't find more things to torture myself with outside of just my body. I tried to lean back and let the wall take some of that weight. This was a more comfortable pose than I had had in the past few days. But it only made me feel just a tiny little bit better, far from having a good rest.
This? Can I have all these?
The girl took out all kinds of foods from the bag. Bread, cookies, and a steaming hot Odin. The smell only made my headache worse.
I already had dinner, so you just dig in.
She replied softly, treating her in a totally different manner. Hey, it is one thing to not share your food, but of all the foods you could pick. The little girl stopped moving her chopsticks and looked at her sister with a pleading expression, as though asking her what to do.
Isn't it only fair? We were eating instant ramen when you were having a feast. There's no way these sorts of cheap foods are to your taste.
What the hell? Her nonsensical accusation was too exhausted to retort.
What? Say something.
I've had enough. The fierce headache took away the last of my patience. Her provoking expression finally made me lose control of my emotions. Right. I'm the rich boy who lives in a giant mansion, receives my mouth with expensive wine and has dozens of maids and butlers. I snap my fingers, and someone bring me whatever I want. I smash the plate to the ground after 2 bites, then whine about what kind of crap this is. Someone drives me to school every day, have LV bags and Rolex watches. All my accessories from top to bottom cost millions of Taiwan dollars, and your poor ass can never even afford one of them. How's that? Is that what you have in mind? There's no thought behind those words, just my accumulated rage and frustration coming out like a flood. I was tired of this conversation. There's no middle ground. I forced the imaginative perception upon me and totally ignored what they had seen. You don't know shit about me. What do you even give a fuck? In the very beginning, you have decided to hate me just because I live a better life than you. Our rich people should die, under trash that can't help themselves from running over people with their fancy cars, right? So cut the bullshit, you don't know anything! Blood all rushed to my head. I was close to passing out from the headache, but yelled at the top of my lungs anyway. The room echoed with my sound. The little girl curled up next to the wall with a scared expression as though I wasn't tied up.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Her eyes flashed with raging fire. She yelled back at me with equal force. Unlike the weakness the little girl showed, the big set stood up forcefully.
Have you ever felt hungry? Ever wondered where to sleep at night? Ever had someone burst open your door to collect debt? I don't know shit about you? Then what the fuck do you know about me, huh? Do you know what we were dealing with when you were going to school? Or when you were sleeping? That's why I hate your lot. By what right can you live like that? By what right can you speak like that? You don't care about us, because it's none of your business.
Yes, it isn't. I didn't care what would happen to me. I just wanted to vent all my frustration from my chest. Should I feel guilty for burying refugees? Be responsible for ISIS? Give me a break. Why should I feel responsible for your life? Why should I kneel before you and apologize? I had nothing to do with your poverty.
And it's my fault?
Her raised fist smashed against the wall. The girl's roar was mixed with sobbing. Her voice echoed through the room. Everything seemed to stop that moment. Her face was twisted with rage. Her lips turned blood red from biting. I could also see her hand trembling.
You think I enjoy this? You think I don't want to live better? I fucking wish I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth! Why can some people have a comfortable life without doing anything? Why does my life have to be a living hell? Tell me!
Facing the girl's emotional accusations, I couldn't respond immediately. It was near our faults. It wasn't even about any individual, but something was decided before our birth. No reason, no explanation. The world's just not fair. Remember what she had said before, repeated it. He and that girl burst into laughter. It sounded relaxed, yet mocking. A mysterious, crazy laughter.
Yes, the world isn't fair. So, none of us should complain about what happens in this goddamn world, right?
Not able to find any words, I averted my gaze. Exhaustion took over me once I calmed down. I could barely talk when I leaned against the wall, weakly. Chill, so I might call the cops to yell this loud. She looked at me over her shoulder, then clicked her tongue unhappily.
Shut up. I don't want to beat up a dying person.
How nice of you, I said half jokingly. I feel much more relaxed after releasing all my pent-up thoughts. I couldn't focus my eyes anymore. During my fluctuating body temperature, I powerlessly closed my eyes. There's only everlasting loneliness in the dark. Tired, cold. How much longer before this is over? Be free or just give up? Or just let it all go and sleep forever?
It's hot.
Amidst the cloudiness, an icy cold hand covered my forehead. I had no strength to open my eyes, could only identify the speakers from their voices.
What a pussy. Acting like a dying man just because of a cold.
Easy for you to say. I deserve some credit for remaining insane after being kidnapped and treated like this.
Big sis. Will he die?
Hearing the mumbling from the little girl, I realized how my senses became sharper as I closed my eyes, and the air temperature felt extra vivid. There's another hand on my forehead, along with the scent of a cigarette.
It takes more than that to kill someone.
Despite her words, there was doubt in her voice. I took a while before I heard her voice again.
Look after him for me. I'll be right back.
Suddenly I felt a weight in my body, a soft cotton blanket held in my body heat, making it much warmer. I could sense the girl next to me with her gaze, maybe even her breathing. My eyes were closed, but I felt her gaze. No, it's probably just my imagination. I couldn't connect the broken thoughts in my mind. I passed out again. Nellie.
Ah, you're back. Mommy needs to head out, take care of something, so have dinner without me. You can eat whatever you like.
Lies.
If Daddy calls, just tell him I'm in class, okay?
Liar.
Be a good boy, okay?
The laughter of an unknown man, hurried footsteps, and the sound of an engine starting. To remove my shoes, I found myself in an empty living room. I lay down on the sofa. My mind was blank while I stared at the hanging chandelier. I realized now that this house is too big. So huge that it makes me feel lonely. Back at the scene of crime, there was no one in the dark alleyway. The cold moonlight shined upon the fenced construction site. Your criminals always return to the scene of crime. Foolish notion, there was no exception. One couldn't bear the self-doubt even when ignoring other gazes. Was there any evidence left behind? The cops started taking action. The girl took a deep breath while lighting up a cigarette. The heavy scent permeated her nose, but wasn't enough to erase unease. She just took out a newly bought cold medicine from her pocket, so I wasn't sure why she did that. She didn't care about that boy's survival. She didn't even intend to let him leave here alive. It's only now that she realized murdering someone was not easy. He was no longer just a thing once you talked to and touched him. He was a living person. It was time to head back. She just decided not to think further. She also hadn't slept properly for days now, just relying on nicotine and alcohol. But she had to keep going. The ideal life she and her only family deserved. My head hurts. Through my eyelids, I felt the sharp sunlight, opening them to see the little piece of sky from the window. I passed a long night, half asleep. I couldn't recall many details about last night, just how weak I was. The fluctuating temperature rendered my body powerless. My brain made me feel nauseated like I had a hangover. I thought there was something on my forehead, then realized it was a towel. Ice had been melted by my body heat, making the towel disgustingly wet. Remembering my foggy dream, my heavy heart dropped even further to the bottom. That was the memory of my mother. It's one of the last thing I want to remember. Was it because of the stress? I suddenly realized my hands were free. Only deep marks on my wrists proved that I wasn't dreaming. I started to move my hands in disbelief and tried to examine the rope on my legs when I heard the cold voice of the girl next to me.
I think she's having tech issues again.
Sorry, I didn't want to talk over you. I'm having technical issues. I'm not sure how to even describe the problem. But I can continue. I'll just have to continue on mobile.
Oh, okay.
Calm down. I will tie you right back up if you dare touch the rope.
The girl's already awake somehow, monitoring my every movement while holding the cell phone. I couldn't see the little girl. I assumed they were taking turns to rest, but I wasn't sure where she'd gone. Their argument and torment from last night, animosity against her lessened a lot. Either I just had no energy to care. Good morning. I coughed a few times and greeted her with gathered strength. You took care of me last night? She grunted unhappily. The non-committal reaction was her yes.
Be quiet and save some energy to take care of yourself.
Oh? Do you not care about me this much?
Shut up.
Her shoes on the ground made a tap-tap sound. She walked to me and looked down from above.
Stop acting like that. It's disgusting.
Oh? Is that so? We're always acting as some characters in life, with those we care about, things we wanted, reacting in a way others liked. Is that part of being in society, tolerating some annoying people?
And then turn yourself into a disgusting person? I'd rather die if that's the case.
She runs the mic coldly and raised her knife towards me meaningfully. Started to chuckle, seeing her annoyed expression. I'd seen such an honest expression of thoughts before. You'd have to move a finger to kill me. Let me be last night, could have died.
You still have some use now. After that, anything is fair game.
She paused before finishing the sentence. There was some seriousness in her expression. You kill me after getting the money. After silence, I decided to be transparent. She hesitated, then noncommittally shook her head.
Who knows?
Her attitude seems to have softened from before. At least she no longer hit me at random or threatened to kill me. If they really didn't care, they would have bothered to buy medicine for me. It could be my wishful thinking, but I rather believe they had no intention to really do it. So my next step should be... I should cooperate and establish a better relationship with them. Might be able to persuade them after winning their trust. Anyway, thank you.
For what?
For taking care of me. She stumbled momentarily before responding.
Tell your dad to cough up the money faster then. What are you laughing at?
Nothing. Nothing. I didn't mean to enrage her, so I shook my head, indicating it was nothing. A hostage thanking their kidnapper. So development would make anyone doubt his or her sanity. The argument from yesterday was like a switch, bringing forth emotions long forgotten. Is there anything to eat? My improving condition led to better appetite. I asked her for food.
Here.
First a pack of cookies, then she threw a can of something else over. I picked up the can and stared at cola in hand. In confusion, I had no idea why this thing would be there here. Do I drink this?
Duh. What else would you do with soda?
Thanks. I still had no clue, but I say no to a chance to switch things up. I opened the cookies obediently to fill my stomach with something first and washed them down with the soda. So sweet. Since all I had was crackers and steam buns, the sudden salt of flavor was too much.
Take the medicine afterwards. I have no time to babysit you.
The medicine she spoke of was on the desk. The effect was immediate. It did make me sleepy. What it was made of? The food and partial freedom allowed me to relax my mind a little. A relaxed hostage? I must have been getting too comfortable with the situation.
We will let you go once your dad pays.
So reading my mind, she spoke to me calmly. This was the softest tone she ever used, as though she was comforting me. Not even to bear that gaze, I looked to the window. The more time we spent together, the more I understood her thoughts, her anger, her contempt, and deep down, her unease. If there was a way to avoid harming anyone and end all this peacefully. I shook my head, laughing at myself at the naivety of that thought. So what now? Hey, so what's your plan after getting the money?
Why do you ask?
She suspiciously turned her head to me, waiting for my answer. Just curious.
How boring.
During the long wait, I had nothing to kill time with but chatting. She stayed silent for a bit, tapping a cigarette ash on the desk, then quietly opened her mouth.
I want to start over. Somewhere where no one knows about me.
The face of the girl staring her vision was so determined, like some pious nun praying. There was neither passion nor desire, just serenity.
I don't care what kind of job I get. I just want to save some money and live a normal life, where I can sleep under a roof and eat properly.
You can't do that now? It didn't sound that impossible. She could have just grabbed a knapsack and gone off to the countryside like those work exchange folks.
Now?
She laughed and waved her hands as though I just asked something really stupid.
No fucking way. Even if you change your face or name, they'll still hunt you down as long as you owe them money.
But even if you got the money to pay off the debt, could you really get out of this that easily? Whether through surveillance camera footage or call records, it's impossible to escape from the pursuit of police thanks to modern technology. Escaping abroad might be an option, but the language barrier and the lack of cash would also be problematic. I didn't know if she had thought about this, but it was weird for me to ask her anyway.
Is that strange to you?
Nope. I thought of similar things. I think everyone has. Going someplace where no one knows who you are. Away from stigma or any expectations. Just to live as your true self.
Can you guys hear me? Is it using my Yeti microphone?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I switched to my laptop. Oh, why would you want that? Are you still not satisfied with your life?
Men are greedy animals. Noticing I didn't speak the truth, she hesitantly opened her mouth, but nothing came out in the end. How much money do you actually owe?
Why are you asking this?
It's rare she didn't reply in mean words, just coldly. There's no other option?
Option?
Even $1 million debt shouldn't lead to kidnapping. You can say that much and you work hard for a few years.
Work hard?
She burst into laughter and looked at me casually, while supporting her head.
My dad doesn't have a company for me to work for. What kind of job do you think I could find? Dishwasher? Bar girl? Prostitute? And what if I clear the debt? Then what? Finally starting my life at age 30 or 40?
Changing the subject, she asked me coldly in return.
Why do I need to spend that much time while others can just coast by? If the world is never fair, then I'd rather gamble it all. Worst case scenario is just the death penalty. Not that different from now.
I couldn't get the cell phone. I think of other solutions. I'm not sure what brand it is, but it smells not as bad as I thought after inhaling it for a while. In a blue package, what brand are they? Should try to ask about it. Might be the clue to identifying who she is. What's the brand of cigarette you smoke?
Why? You want to try it out?
Nah, I'm fine.
Then why ask?
Just found it smell special. She figured to tell me it wouldn't matter much, so she answered easily.
Light 7. My dad only smokes these.
Your dad?
He hit the road a long time ago. A shitty man who doesn't take care of his family. I will kill him if I ever meet him.
Seeing how angry she got, I found something strange. Was it just contradictory to hate someone yet smoke the same brand of cigarette? See that had gotten better, she walked towards me with the rope.
Your hands.
Do you really need to tie me up? I can't escape like this.
This or this. Take your pick.
She motioned to the rope with her left hand, then a knife on her right. A picked knife. Wait, what does that even mean?
Let me stab both your legs. Then I won't tie you up.
Never mind, the rope is fine.
Your choice, not mine.
The bread she brought back for lunch was a classic scallion bread with pork floss. The long absent flavor spread in my mouth and made this meal a feast after days of nothing but nutritive biscuits. In contrast to me wolfing down the bread, she showed no appetite next to the window. What was she thinking about? I decided to focus on the bread before me, since I just recovered from illness. I bought so many flavors this time. How come? Seeing all the flavors in the bag, I was confused by her generosity.
They're leftovers. They were gonna throw them out anyway.
She coldly turned her head and grunted with distaste.
I hate those fancy shops that take pride in their quality. They'd rather throw out bread than give it to those in need. Do you know what they say? If we gave the leftovers to others, the original customers would never buy them. All for such a pretty reason. Petty reason.
She mockingly laughed, despising the self-proclaimed fancy shops. From their point of view, they do have a point. I replenished some strength after finishing filling my stomach and started to chat with her. It might be hard to understand, just like people not getting why others would pay 1,000 Taiwan dollars for a steak or much more for a pair of headphones. For most people, food was just to relieve hunger. For some people, however, it was the pursuit of the ultimate sensation of taste. Time does affect the bread's texture. The store needs to maintain a quality for their reputation. If the shop cut the price where there was some leftover, then people would only come right before closing. It would affect the profitability negatively. Initially, I wanted to explain the impact of the expectation mindset, but decided to go with a simpler way to explain it. The shop needs to make a profit, so it's only natural for them to.
Only natural?
Did I just say it's just not a matter of throwing away or not, but a mentality to customers would impact profit?
That's what pissed me off! What quality? What reputation? So some brand reputation is more important than starving people? Does nothing matter besides money? That's natural to you?
Her staring eyes were burning with fire, like those that had seen the worst of humanity, were overflowing with rage. Why don't you try to change that instead of complaining to me about it? It's that issue with their whining attitude, even if one couldn't choose one upbringing. complaining wouldn't make it better. And the game's rules couldn't be changed, and when I tried to play by the rules first, then change them when you could do so. There was always the option to just slit your throat, hang yourself, or jump off a building, hoping it would be better next time. Still a better alternative than whining all day long.
Yes, I can only change it with my own hands.
Surprisingly, there was no rebuttal, just a mysterious smile on her darkened face. I'd gone through beatings and threats, but her smile right there scared me more than ever. The girl was looking outside the window with a cigarette. She was always extra quiet with smoking. It was some serious ritual. In a room only a few square feet in size, two people with opposing backgrounds quietly sat preoccupied with their own thoughts. How old was she? What happened? Why was she doing this? I thought I didn't care, but the more time we spent together, the more I realized how different she was with my imagination. The criminals in the news all look evil and inhumane. It's hard to imagine I might have their stories too. The things they like, the things they hate, the people they cherish, their worries, their thoughts. Just a sentence from a book. Everyone tried to live better. No one would think of him herself as being irrational or crazy. If you felt that way, that meant you didn't know that person well enough. I didn't try to understand them. The fast-paced modern society made it exhausting to take care of oneself, let alone others. We didn't care what others were like. Labeling them as good guy or bad guy was just that much easier. Do we know each other?
No way. Our lives have nothing to do with yours.
Hearing my question, she snorted mockingly. Really? Somehow I think I've seen you before. Hear how insistent I was, she tilted her head and started thinking.
Maybe in the shop. No, that's impossible. Or maybe you've seen me on the news. Or in the police station, huh?
Her smile seemed to sharply cut me. Her pointed words made it hard to get too close. Then why me?
Still thinking about that?
She sighed impatiently. She waved her hand to indicate she lost interest in this exchange.
Your dad is filthy rich and you live by yourself. Can you think of a better target? Or you think there was some backstory? Just blame yourself for being too careless and your dad for being too rich.
I'm still uncertain the culprit was someone I knew. The fact she knew this much about my household was just bizarre. That question aside, did she just mention a shop? She worked in a shop. What kind of shop? So what now? That girl, what's your plan? You let her go home after getting the money?
Who?
The one calling you big sis.
She'll be with me, of course.
I heard some gangs would manipulate underage girls and make them into a lackey to avoid arrest. It had been a few days, but it was clear that little girl didn't know anything, and they followed instructions from her big sis. She even looked worried when I was sick. It's just cruel to ask a kid of that age to be the scapegoat. Does the family know about this?
Family?
She frowned upon my question. There's some sort of communication barrier, as something seemed to miss. She has a family, right? Or did they abandon her?
I am her family.
Huh? I couldn't make sense of it at that moment and just froze there, forgetting what she had even just said.
Didn't she call me big sis?
Wait, so you really are her sister, like sister?
What else could it be?
She patiently crossed her arms across her chest, asked matter-of-factly. So I thought she must have been like her boss or maybe some surrogate sister. If that was the case, then our faith in Big Sis would make sense. They are blood relative, after all.
Nothing. Oh, sorry.
Nothing, just that you don't look alike.
Is that so? Oh.
She suspiciously looked at me and burst into laughter upon realization. She saw through me.
You thought she was like my lackey and I would send her to jail in my place once I got the money?
She was smiling, but there was no warmth in her expression.
Are you kidding me? I'll take responsibility of my own actions. Not like you people that grab all the goodies and stuff others with shit.
I just think your little sister's a good kid. I'd rather she doesn't get involved.
Oh? So you actually care about us?
She replied absent-mindedly, so not believing one word I said. So what now? I wasn't expecting to see running water from his faucet. He had toothbrushes and cups as well. Do you really live here? Do you live here?
Why do you ask?
She didn't answer directly, but carefully asked back. After I managed to trick her a few times, she got more and more careful when talking to me, fearing to reveal more information. I saw toothbrushes and glasses in the bathroom, so I thought you might live here.
What do you think?
I think only homeless people would find this place attractive.
Huh.
Hearing my honest answer, she covered her mouth and giggled in a bit of mockingly manner.
We're not far off from being homeless. Just slightly more fortunate. Finally.
The girl put down the phone, loosened her tense brow, along with a sigh of relief. What's up?
Lucky for you, things have worked out. Your dad will pay tomorrow.
For real?
Duh. Why would I lie to you?
She seemed to be in a rather good mood, since all I got was just a look rather than a solid flying kick.
Stay put, nothing will happen to you.
So, you will let me go?
Who knows? Just don't have any funny ideas and wait patiently until tomorrow.
You get no promise, just shrugged with an ambiguous attitude. It went differently than expected, according to my understanding. My father, who had tried to bide more time to let the police track the kidnappers down, yet instead he conceded rather easily. Did he really plan to just pay up? Knowing him, he wouldn't believe the kidnappers' claims so easily. He must have a plan. No idea. I didn't know what he had in mind, which was a sad realization of how distant our relationship was.
Why do you look so pissed? Did your brain burn out?
She asked with a little surprise after seeing me not saying anything with a lowered head. As if. I responded vaguely why I didn't think things would go this smoothly. I had no intention to tell my kidnapper that.
Shh.
Without noticing my concerns, she mumbled before, opening a can of soda next to the window.
Ugh.
She leaned back against the wall and let out a long, tired sigh. She clearly didn't have it better than me, outside of preventing me from escaping. She also had to worry about police and negotiation process with my family. It might seem like it'd be over soon, but the key event was tomorrow. Would they really pay as promised? Could it just be a means to buy time? They always say parents would pay any amount of money for their children's safety. It made me laugh. We're not a normal family. Nothing could be done with this broken exclusive relationship. Despite telling myself not to have any hope, I still wish for them to pay up. Self-contradiction I couldn't really explain. My head started to ache again while pondering it. I tried to rest against the wall, but all sorts of thoughts stuck in my mind.
Be a good boy at home, okay?
Liar.
So what's with your mother?
Huh? Came back to my senses from that fuzzy memory and answered absent-mindedly.
Why is there no contact at all from your mother? She's right here in Taiwan, but refuses to show up after her own son is kidnapped? That's strange.
Maybe she's busy. Other unpleasant memories came to mind, making me trying to change the subject reflexively.
Are you kidding me?
She raised an eyebrow, clearly not pleased with this answer. In retrospect, it wasn't really a convincing answer, but I still didn't intend to say more than that. Why do you care about my family? Are you an arranged marriage agent? Let me go and give you my number. Maybe we... Start right there in the middle of the sentence. It was only my voice throughout the conversation. She would normally have interrupted me by now. A strange silence spread across the room. I lifted my gaze and looked into her black eyes, realizing I was stuck to hiding my thoughts.
You really talk a lot when it's about things you don't want to answer. Is that some rich boy habit?
Maybe. I didn't expect her to notice such details, so I acknowledged her sharp observation with a bitter smile. Didn't you figure me all out already? You should know our relationship was bad.
All I care about is if you have money. Your relationship is none of my business.
Why now, then? I responded casually, but couldn't help but wonder about the intention behind this question. Sheer curiosity? I thought it wasn't that simple.
I just want to hear from you what's wrong with your mom. Even Mr. Ken said it was pointless to contact her.
Mr. Ken?
Never mind. So you gonna talk or not?
Seeing her impatiently brushing her hair, I lowered my head to ponder how to respond. I didn't know where to start, really. It was embarrassing and I didn't feel the need to tell her.
What? Is she your stepmother or your father's mistress?
Seeing me not pondering, she started to guess randomly. Maybe she got pretty close to the truth. Something like that. Just the roles were reversed.
Uh-huh.
And then I decided to go with the easiest explanation. My mom had another man. It wasn't really something I couldn't talk about, but it's just triggered tons of unhappy memories. Since I was a kid, she often went out with someone, but I didn't know where to and what for. It sometimes would take her a whole week before she came home, and the housekeeper couldn't give me a direct answer. Your mom is having an affair. Be no way for me to tell a 10-year-old that either.
Oh?
She supported her head with a smile on her face. It looked more like gloating than sympathy.
You guys are strange. Always doing these sorts of things. Affair, inheritance fight. Don't you have better things to do?
Not expecting me to answer, she started to talk to herself and laughed, still hoping to balance things out by hearing of others' misfortune.
What a poor man your dad is, making all that money abroad just to raise a woman for another man.
He knows,
He knows?
I said it casually, as far as staring at me dumbfounded. Yeah, he knew about my mother's affair. Cool story, right?
Are you an idiot?
Have a sense of humor.
Why didn't they divorce? Did he forgive her? Or maybe your mother has the money.
She ignored my joke and kept prying. As they confirmed the ransom payment, she became a lot more talkative. Who knows? I don't care, nor do I want to figure it out. I like it this way, and I can't do anything about it. I actually asked about that just once. I could never forget his reaction back then. I angrily told him about mother's affair, and the hand touching me tensed up immediately. Yet the shock when he stared at his face momentarily before being replaced by another emotion. Some sense of relief. He softly rubbed my head and told me mommy didn't have an affair. I simply misunderstood. Misunderstood? No explanation, just one single word. The company increasing in size, he spent more and more time abroad. Never did he ask of mother's whereabouts, nor confront her, so nothing happened. Why didn't he ask her? Why didn't they divorce? Why feign ignorance? I couldn't ask anything and seen his soft smile. Unanswered questions became the gap between us. It got wider over time until it became an unfixable distance.
Maybe he has a mistress too. The marriage was just a ruse.
Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised.
Does your dad still love her?
I had to stay in silent for a while, so eventually ask. I don't know. At least, I couldn't. I didn't say the second part. It didn't matter what the answer was. I deleted her phone number that day and I moved out during high school, keeping minimal contact with my family. Since money came in every month, meeting up or not didn't matter. Maybe she knew that we already found out about it. No, maybe she wanted us to find out. In retrospect, too many things didn't make sense. There were better excuses for the affair to keep me from discovering. She wanted Dad to know. Unbelievable as it was, it did explain many things. They forced him to propose divorce, testing his reaction. Regardless of the motive, there was no argument or confrontation as I expected, just the status quo.
Maybe she wanted to get alimony by forcing your dad to divorce.
No one would openly have an affair to get alimony. No judge would be that stupid. She tried to find an explanation with a darkened expression. Save it, you won't find the answer. They've been like this for years. At least tried to hide it from me when I was young. Now I don't even bother. The moment he was on the plane, she was already on her way to spend a night with another man. She just needed to play a good wife when he came home, so nothing happened. It's like adult version of playing house. The curtain raised and everyone played their arranged parts. You're the dad working abroad. You're the mom taking care of the house. You're the kid that needs to go to school. We all knew it was fake, but no one spelled it out. I kept thinking that if my dad's company wasn't that big, if my family wasn't that rich, maybe things could have been different.
You think things would be different without the money?
I expected that to trigger her. She started laughing coldly.
Why is it so difficult to just openly discuss this? Do you really have to make it more complicated?
Seeing her angry reaction, I somehow felt a little reassured. I finally confirmed I, myself, wasn't abnormal, but that my family relationship was abnormal. Things wouldn't go away, you pretend you didn't see them. I was just lying to yourself.
Make things clear and break up if there's no more love. Don't keep perpetuating a lie if you don't want to be together. How simple is that?
Who knows? They'll like it that way. I didn't want to argue with her. The world's too complicated. Too many people, too many things that will take a lifetime to understand. Why do they do that? Why does society function like this? Why can't no one ever be satisfied? I don't know. If there's no answer, then you just accept it. Reality wouldn't change just because you didn't agree with it or because you didn't know the cause.
Don't know? Are you nuts?
She waved her hand impatiently, so nothing I said was worth a dime.
Why don't you figure it out if you find it strange? Are you some soap opera protagonist?
You don't get it. If I...
You're the one who doesn't get it.
Abruptly interrupting me, she coldly responded.
You don't know how lucky you are. You don't know how many people envy you. You just keep saying you can't do it. How many people want to be like you, and yet here you are telling me, I wish I had less money. So quit the self-pity. You are lucky, rich boy. If you want to escape from even this type of problem, you may as well just die.
Angry as usual, but this time it seemed different. I couldn't tell she was treating what I said seriously and was dumbfounded about that realization. I never told anyone about my family. I realized it wouldn't matter even if I did. Is that it? How come? Poor thing. One of his reactions were just exhausting. No one really cared and then became a random subject chit-chat. It was like talking about disasters on social media. All the self-righteous comments were just empty words and things that had nothing to do with you. All I did was notify others. Hey, I know about this. I have a heart. It's all meaningless. You want to escape from even this type of problem, you may as well die. When hearing that, I realized I was escaping, fearing that atmosphere, fearing my parents. I ran to my own world and attempted to negotiate with them.
What? Say something.
Seeming not saying anything, she stared at me coldly, while brushing her messy hair. No, you're right. I sighed. I actually felt much better despite my situation remaining the same. She went inside, hoping to see if I was mocking her or being honest. Then she spat and turned her head away, seemingly more awkward than mad.
Doesn't matter what you think. I won't be seeing you again after getting the money tomorrow.
Good luck. She lit up a cigarette. The faint tobacco smell permeated the room, along with the cold night air. If I did get the money tomorrow, everything just ended. That would be the best possible outcome. I shook my head and laughed myself, even I couldn't believe that. Life is fated to be a tragedy. Let us live in the hope of miracle. When we caught that line, the air I breathed out turned into white smoke, though I saw the foggy moon outside the window. If it just once, I hoped a miracle would happen. "3 o'clock in the morning. The girl was falling asleep in a chair. She had woken up a few times in a fit of drowsiness. Even the energy drink didn't help much. Worrying she might really fall asleep, she decided to sit next to the door with a blanket. There's only one exit. You would have to go through here if you wanted to escape. Even triple checking the ropes couldn't remove the unease. The image of him escaping came to her mind every time she closed her eyes. It'd be all over in a few hours. It was a simple determination that kept her going till now. She had imagined how she would pay off the debt multiple times, and now she could see the end of the line. She didn't know how to avoid arrest or what to do afterwards. She just had to believe that things would be different.
Just a few more hours.
The quiet sleep talking echoed throughout the room. The girl secretly closed her eyes.